up the stream, it's the cash flow show. Every day I'm live and I let you know there's a better way to get that cash, not chasing clicks that disappear so fast. You gave your time to the algorithm, but the rules keep changing. You can't win them. You need a lane that you own for real, so your knowledge turns into a deal. On the cash flow path, yeah, we're breaking free from the rented reach and the mystery. Build your own space where your people stay. Private community that pays your way. On the cash flow path, watch your value grow. Turn your wisdom into profit flow. Every daily live, I'm laying it out straight. Over 40 creators, it's never too late. YouTube views, they rise then fall. Ads and brands, they can ghost your call. But when you own the room where you teach, your best buyers are within your reach. No hype talk, just a simple plan. Step by step, yeah, we walk it hand in hand. Our public feeds where you're just a guest, to your own platform where you're truly blessed. On the cash flow path, yeah, we're breaking free from the rented reach and the mystery. Build your own space where your people stay. Private community that pays your way. On the cash flow path, watch your value grow. Turn your wisdom into profit flow. Every daily live, I'm laying it out straight. Over 40 experts, it's never too late. No more waiting on a viral break. No more hoping that the sponsors pay. You got knowledge they can't replace. Time to move into your own safe place. Tech made simple, I clear the noise. Show you tools that fit real lives and joys. You bring the fire, I bring the frame. We build a home around your name. On the cash flow path, yeah, we're breaking free from the rented reach and the mystery. Build your own space where your people stay. Private community that pays your way. On the cash flow path, watch your value grow. Turn your wisdom into profit flow. Every daily live, I'm laying it out straight. Over 40 creators, it's never too late. It's the cash flow path, come and take your turn on your income from the way you learn. Day by day on the live stream screen, we cash in on the value you've always been.
Hey, what's going on? It looked like my microphone died right as I was getting ready to start. So this is the nature of live. So hopefully you can hear this. And let me just put this thing on. All right, welcome. So this is the cash flow path. And what we talk about here is ways that you can break free from these platforms and you can actually turn the stuff that you create into predictable monthly income. Who would like to make monthly predictable income? If you would, go ahead and say yes in the comments, and I'm going to show you if you want to ask questions. This is how you do it. You put a Q and then ask your question. That way I can separate things and I'm able to see what are questions and what are not questions. But the first thing that people who kind of get this whole thing, the first thing that they understand is that you don't own anything here, right? This is what you're dealing with. This is what we call the internet being basically a super information highway. And while that is cool in some respects, it doesn't do you any favors if you're trying to make money because it's rented. It is rented. And the reason I know this is because it was not that long ago I had a TikTok account with 44,000 followers. I was going live to about 350 people a day. And I was building my community and everything was going great. And then all of a sudden, one day, I tried to log on and all my stuff was changed. Somebody had changed my password. Somebody had changed my email address, my phone number. And then before too long, what actually happened was they removed all my videos and they changed the name of my account on TikTok. So this is why I say it's rented. What you need is a place that you own. It's rented. The algorithm decides who sees what. It's just this stream of endless content, and especially on TikTok. It's nothing but entertainment. It is not education. It is not problem solving. People are just there because they only find you because they scroll and they happen to find you. There's no rhyme or reason on any social media platform. There's slightly more reason and ways that you can build things here on YouTube because YouTube is an interest-based platform. TikTok and all the other social media are distraction and entertainment based. So you will never be able to build something that you truly own if you're trying to do social media. And here's the other thing. They can tell you you're building a community. You're not. You're building people who look at your content. That's it. Would you consider people who watch a particular television show, would you call them a community? No, you wouldn't, because they don't connect with one another. See, a community is a place where people actually connect with one another. They don't just connect with a thing like content. So the goal is to get off of this highway, right? And the way you get off is to create a ramp to ownership. And that's a community. That's a place that you own. Everything else is out of your control. But here's the thing. If you've been creating content, and by the way, this is who my lives are for. You're posting consistently, but your income's still flat. Content's solid, but growth and reach aren't there yet. You know your field, but you don't know what you would sell and how to structure it. And see, here's the thing. People, if you knew how this works, you would understand it's not that nobody wants your thing. All right? It's not that at all. What it is that no one can buy anything from you if it isn't for sale. And by the way, if you're watching on vertical, you're not getting all these slides because I just didn't bother to put slides on vertical. I'm sorry. This is the benefit of coming over to horizontal. There's nothing for sale here. Because again, you don't own anything. You can't accept payments here. You can't collect email addresses here, right? There's nothing like that possible. But a place that you own, you can. But here's the good news, though. The good news is you've already built a business if you are creating content, right? You just never turned it on. Because again, it's not about the algorithm, the platform, your audience, or getting more subscribers. It's creating something for them so they can say yes whenever you present it to them. But you've already built this business because everything in content is trust. It's know, like, and trust. And if you can build know, like, and trust, you can get people off of public media into the place that you own, right? So you have already built it. You just never turned it on. All right? Because this is where you are right now if you are doing content. People watch everything you make. You answer the same question 10 times a week with your videos for free. And you know what? You've never charged a single dollar for it. And everything still depends on you showing up. The day you stop showing up is the day that you are no longer building anything, right? This is like, it's like that pump that you can't get going. No matter how many times you pump it, you can't create momentum with it, because the day you stop, it stops. So this is the game everybody thinks they're playing. Let's get 1 million views. Well, did you know if you get 1 million views with educational content, did you know that you are likely to make less than $1,000 a year? A year on 1 million views. It's not about going viral, right? That has nothing to do with it. And I want you to think about this. See, you're trying to score 1,000 runs in one at bat, but it actually takes 1 million swings just to get paid once. So it's a losing proposition, right? You're not going to win playing, and all it is it's a popularity game. Views, subscribers. In fact, I saw a video from a really big YouTuber this a couple days ago. No, it won't, man. It won't. Tenpen, without question. But if you have something valuable to offer people, then that won't be your fate, right? But if you are educationally creating content, that is what you're looking at. You're looking at 1,000, because if you think about it, 1 million views, the average educational content creator gets paid somewhere between $2 and $4, maybe $5 per 1,000 views. So we're talking 1,000, right? So maybe you can make $4,000, right? And that's not that much, especially if you are creating more than 4 videos a month. That's not that much money. That's a lot of effort to make that little bit of money. And it's not in your control anyway. You have no control over that situation. But I'm going to show you 2 people who did this the right way. One of them, age 66, in 6 weeks, he got to $1,300 from creating the same type of content and sending people to a private community that he was doing for free on TikTok. I'm going to show you another woman on TikTok who did the same thing. She's got a large following. She parlayed it into $3,000 a month in just 30 days. And here's the thing. Neither one of them created that result by getting a bigger YouTube channel or a bigger TikTok channel. Neither one of them. So you think that if you give away all your best stuff on YouTube, nobody will want to pay for it. And here's what people actually think. This is a misnomer, and I thought it the same thing too. I'm like, well, if I give away all my best stuff on YouTube, what the heck is anybody going to pay me for? But here is the transformation that you need to go through in your mind, and it's a transformation in the way that you think. And it's this. If this is what he gives away for free, imagine what the paid stuff is like. Because free is do it yourself, right? I show people how to do something themselves, and they can do it themselves. If they want to go through all the trial and error, if they want to make all the mistakes, if they want to risk getting frustrated and quitting, they can do it by themselves. I'm not saying they can't. But with me by their side helping do it with them, DWY, done with you, they have a much greater likelihood of success. And that's all we're talking about here is we are talking about helping people solve problems, right? Where's my solve problem screen? I took that off. There we go. Where's my problem solving screen? There it is. This is what we're talking about, right? Solving problems. And that's all we're doing. We're taking somebody from point A, where they're not happy, to point B, where they are. And what we're going to do is we're going to show them what the problem is. We're going to show them why they have the problem. We're going to apply our expertise to that problem to get them to take certain actions and change certain behaviors. And then when they take action, you know what happens? When they take action, they feel like they're making progress, and they are making progress, because there is a really, what's up, Cake? How are you? There is a really it's actually a misleading thing that we were taught. If you're over 40, like me, you probably remember something called Schoolhouse Rock, right? No, I'm 58. I am 58. So on Schoolhouse Rock, they always used to say knowledge is power, right? If you remember Schoolhouse Rock, and most of you who are here probably don't. But again, that's why my lives are for 40 plus, because we know this stuff. But they used to say knowledge is power, and that's false. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only taking action that changes behavior. And only when you change behavior does knowledge become power. So, said another way, information and knowledge are not power, but information and knowledge implemented to create a different result from where you are now, that is power. And that's all we are doing when we problem solve, right? We're getting people to take action. By them taking action, they feel empowered. That creates value for them. And then they start to get results. And then they are happy to pay you for whatever those results are. Well, thank you, right? Because problem solving equals value, value equals money. And so once they start getting results, guess what? They go from their current state to their desired state. And all you used to get them there was your existing knowledge about a handful of things, either a career, a profession, right? A career or profession, a personal problem or a challenge that you have overcome, or a passion or hobby that you like pursuing. That's it. It's just those three. And everybody has something that they are a subject matter expert in. Because I don't know if you knew this, but everyone who has read 5 books or done something for 50 to 100 hours or actually gotten a result from something that they do, they're a subject matter expert, because they know more than that about that subject than 99% of the people, right? So what you're doing is you are giving away your knowledge to prove to people you know what you're talking about, right? And so this is what people say. They say, if he gives this stuff away for free, can you imagine what the paid stuff is like? So for years of showing up and being right in front of the same people, you've already done this. You've already proved you know what you're talking about. But here's the flip, okay? On YouTube, more content equals more growth, at least you hope. You talk, they watch. A bad video costs you views. Now, in a room that you own, more access means that they're going to stay. That's retention, or what we call a lack of churn. Churn is when people leave your group, right? But if we do all the talking in our room, that means it's dying. You want other people talking in your room. Because again, like I was saying, this is about community. This is not about courses. community, not courses. This is why this is better than selling courses, because it is predictable, recurring income. Because when you provide ongoing value, they pay you ongoing money, right? Because it's not a large amount of money. And then a quiet week is what costs you members, while that bad video costs you views. So it's the same person, it's the same skill, but almost every rule between a platform and a room is inverted. And so here is the whole playbook. You ask people, real people, what they're stuck with. Ask them. And you know what you don't do? You don't type it in ChatGPT and say, what are people stuck with? You ask real people real questions. You ask them on your social media, you ask them in your community, and they will tell you. Because here's what people really are. Or here's what creators should see themselves. If they're an educational creator, here's how they should see themselves. Okay, what would you like? Okay, how would you like that? Okay, what would you like with that? Okay, great. All right, I'm going to take this back into the kitchen. We're waiters. We're not creators, which means we ask people what they want, and then we create it. And then when we create what they ask for, they happily pay for it. Just like when you go to a restaurant, if your food is delicious, right? If it's got good taste and it's prepared the exact way that you wanted it, you don't bat an eye when they bring a bill to your table. Well, if somebody gets exactly what they want out of a community because you listen to them rather than trying to build it yourself beforehand, you let them build it with you. This is not if you build it, they will come. This is if you listen to them and let them help you build it, they will stay. That's what this is. That's how it's different. So you ask them what they want. Next, you open the room. And here's the thing. You open the room at a price. You don't do it for free. You don't need to do it for free. You've already got experience, right? If you can solve a problem and you can prove you can solve a problem for somebody, why should you not get paid? Now, there's a couple of ways that you can do this, though. You can do this where you have a low barrier to entry, right? Which is almost like a free community, but you at least get something for it. Because what I have found is that people who pay, I know it's an old sales thing, but people who pay attention. I had a community of 750 people, and it was complete and total crickets because nobody was paying for anything. They were just in there being tire kickers and getting everything for free. They wouldn't show up on a call. They wouldn't do any of the work that the homework assignments that I gave. And not that they're mandatory, but if you wanted to get the result that I was promising, you needed to do things. And none of them would because it was free. The moment I changed to a paid community, I started getting success stories. The moment that I did that, it happened. And look, if you give everything away for free inside of it, even a private space, here's what people think. It's like, yeah, is this thing really that worth it? Right? And if you price it too low, they'll also say the same thing. It would be like if somebody wanted to sell a Mercedes for $1,000, a brand new Mercedes for $1,000. You know what? They probably couldn't get rid of that car. Because people would think, what's wrong with this? They should be selling this for $30,000 or $50,000. What's wrong with this vehicle? Right? They wouldn't believe you. And they're not going to believe you if you price too cheap. Now, the only difference is you can do things on an introductory basis. And that's what I do in my community is I have an entry point of only $7, right? And you're basically doing it yourself for $7. Now, if you want my help, there's another option. But the way that you do this is you just go in, you set up your pricing, and you either put it as a subscription for whatever amount you want to, and you turn on free trial, right? Or you leave it as what I do, which is tiers. I've got a $7 tier and I've got a $49 tier. Now, in the $7 tier, like I said, it's done, it's do it yourself. But in the premium tier, I actually help you do it. And in a lot of cases, I do a lot of the initial setup work for you. So, but all you do is you set up the pricing, you set up your 7-day free trial, you save it, and then when people go back to your community and they go to your main page, which is, this is called the About page, you see from the viewer's perspective, you see from the viewer's perspective that you can get a free trial for 7 days. And then after that, it's $7 a month. And the reason we do that, because again, I don't want tire kickers. And you shouldn't want tire kickers. And there's a lot of things that you're doing for free that you have no business doing for free. You shouldn't do them for free because it devalues your expertise. And nobody wants their expertise devalued. Why? Because they're less likely to want to share it if it's devalued. And if you do it for free forever, then it's devalued. But there's plenty of examples of people that are running what we call low ticket communities that they're absolutely killing it. So here's some communities that are crushing it. Right? This is only $9 a month. They have 26,000 people in this group. So you do the math. This community, 640 members, $9 a month. This community, 826 members, $9 a month. This community, 676 members, $9 a month. This one's $9 a month. This is a health community with some supplements, so that one's a little bit more expensive. This one, 2,400 members, $1 a month. Right? Here is a fitness community. Now here's a coaching community, right, for sales. And because sales is so much more profitable, it's more, right? Same thing here, because this is almost like a business type thing. But here is a community, right? 467 members, $5 a month. So that one is much less expensive than this one. But you know what? This one has 4,000. This one only has 600 and something, because they probably perceive more value in the one that's more expensive. Yeah, there was an interesting study done a long time ago, and people were given the choice between 3 wines. And they were told, this is a very high quality wine, this is a medium quality wine, and this is a lower quality wine. And they were asked to rate the taste of the wine. And almost everybody said the high quality wine tastes better, and then the medium quality, and then the low quality, because they were told that, right? They were told that up front. But what they weren't told is every single bottle had the same wine in it. It was a test. It was a social experiment. And because they perceived it to be more expensive and higher quality, they placed more value on it. And I got that from Alex Hormozy. I don't know what the study was, but same wine in all 3 bottles. And yet they perceived it to be better because they were told one of them was the high quality wine. It's the same thing with a community. If you don't value it and you don't price it at a value that at least gives them some idea that it's worth it, they're not going to believe you. Right? That's why you can have tiers. And so what I call the $7 or the $9 entry point, I call that a cover charge. Basically, you have to pay the cover charge to get inside the room. Okay? So that's how all this works. Now let's go back over here. So the room is empty, but you price it. Then you're just telling people. Now, how do we tell people? Well, I have a link in my bio that takes you directly to my page. See? Right there. And hundreds of people visit that all the time. Then I go into my videos, and then you go down here and you pin a comment. And the same link is in the comment. The same link is in the description for the video later on down, right? It's right there. So they just click on that and it takes them to the cash flow path because that's what it is. Right? And it's got nothing to do with how many views I get on this video. It has to do with, oh, I guess it would be helpful if I showed it to you, wouldn't it? So, sorry about that. So, let's go back over here. Right? So on my page, I've got the link to my school community. And when they click on that, it takes them right here to the About page. And if you're not a user of school yet, this is what you get. And then when you try to click on this, if you don't even have an account with school, it's going to ask you to make a school account first. But that's how that works. And then every single video that I make has a pinned comment with my link. Every one of the descriptions for my videos has that link. Has it at the top, has it a little bit lower. Because people need to be reminded. They don't need to be taught necessarily, but they need to be reminded. And the way that they're reminded is by you telling them over and over and over again. That's the whole point of retargeting ads on social media, right? So you have to tell them over and over again. And look, are you going to feel like a broken record? You're damn right you're going to feel like a broken record. But does your favorite TV show or the game you want to watch, do they just run one ad? You know what's my favorite thing to watch because it just reiterates what we're talking about? Every time that I watch college football and I'm watching a game, what are they always doing? They're always promoting next week's game. They're already giving you ads promoting next week's game. And so you're going to sound like a broken record, and it's okay because not everybody's going to hear you. It's way more important. I said this on the video that I just put on my page. It's way more important to realize that you're going to be saying old things to new people, and that's way more important than saying new things to old people. You need to think of people who consume your content as a passing parade, not a captive audience. So it's not like you're under a big circus tent and everybody is trapped there and they're all going to hear the same message over and over and over again. It's people that are just passing along and they happen to hear it, and they're going to need to hear it probably 5 or 7 times before they're going to listen to you. So you ask people what they need. You start to create what they need and have an open room that is priced. Then you tell people about it, and then you build it. This is when you build it. This is when you go into your community and they say, hey, you know what? I need to know how to figure out who this community is for and what they want. And so I have this classroom. I had people asking me, how do I increase activity in my group? So I created this classroom. What do I need to do to get started? So I created the Start Here classroom. And then I asked them, what would be the most effective thing for you to be able to learn in the first 7 days inside this community? And they said to build the bones of it and then launch it and start getting members right away. That's what they told me. So I created this. right? But I didn't create any of this stuff until I asked them what they want. Because again, you build with them, not for them. And then you just keep asking, what more do you want? What more do you want? What more? And the loop never stops because you're never winning this game. Now, here's the difference. If you have 20 members paying you $30 a month, that's a nice car payment. It's about $600 a month. But if you get 100 people paying you $30 a month, that's $3,000 a month. And let me take you back over to my YouTube channel so you can see the massive success that 275,000 views on all my videos, because I just passed 275,000 views, and I just passed, I think I just passed, actually I'm way over this figure now. Let me see if it's, oh, they didn't update it. But if you go into my vidIQ, I am way over that figure. Not, well, I'm kind of over it. You'll see here in just a second. So I'm at 1,700 subscribers, right? Which is not a ton. It's not a ton. But for all those video views, right? And I've only had 841 in the last 7 days, although that's about to change because I did have one that kind of popped off a little bit. But for all of that, I'm only going to make $44. 44 bucks. That's a waste. Now compare that to $3,000 because you found, forget about 1 million views, like I said. What would you rather have? 10,000 subs or 100 people paying you $30 a month? What would you rather have? That's a trick question, right? You would much rather have that. So, your goal is to open the room this week. And if you need help with that whole thing, join the Cash Flow Path. Try us out for 7 days. You've already seen the classroom. You've already seen what you have inside. What I'm going to help you do in the first 7 days, I'm going to help you come up with all of this, because I've got some tools inside the group that will help you come up with all of this. I've got some, and it'll also help you come up with this. This is called the description. This is called the about page. You can bounce ideas off me to figure out what you should price it at. I'm going to help you figure out how to come up with these images, because your goal with these images is to be able to go into School Discovery. And this is the platform we use. This is where you build the room, by the way. But creators over 40. Pretty broad search term, right? Look who's there on page 1. So I am 1, 2, 3. And look, creators, this is a bunch of AI stuff, which I don't believe in. I don't believe in AI. I believe in real humans. I believe in 40 plus people with unduplicatable experience, sharing that experience with other people. But there I am on page 1. So what am I? Am I in, I'm number 7 on page 1. Now, if you go into creator monetization, I was on page 1. Yep, I'm number 6 on page 1. See, so what I'm going to help you do is I'm going to help you come up with the stuff that's going to allow you to learn how to do that. Right? I'm going to help you come up with those keywords and those discoverable terms. I'm going to help you set up your pricing. I'm going to help you do all of that stuff. I'm going to help you realize you only need this one post. That's all you need. And you are ready to go. That's all you need. You need a post that leads to a start here, and you need maybe one other lesson, because the goal is to get them through the first 7 days. That's the goal. Because at the end of 7 days, you want them coming back to you, and you want them saying, this was way worth what I paid for it. This was way worth the 7-day free trial. So I want to keep going. But in the first 7 days, you have to onboard them so well that they don't want to leave. And so what you want them to do is you want them to engage, you want them to get some wins, and you want them to meet other people in the community. Because again, this is not a top-down thing. This is not a I rule on high and I teach you. No, this is a hey, what do you want? Hey, what do you think about this? And other people chime in, right? It is a community, because a community is people that share common interests and they hang out together because they get to talk about something that's important to them. And they get to learn things that are important to them. And more importantly, a bunch of people who are basically in the same space get to learn with each other all at the same time. Right? So that's what this whole thing's about. Look, this has been one of my longer lives. I've enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun, but it's time to bolt. So you guys have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow, because I do this every single night. I either do it in the afternoon or I do it at nighttime. It just depends on what my day looks like on that given day. But here's what you do. If you click on the bell, you'll get notified when I'm going live, and you can jump in. Okay? Take care, guys. Have a good night.
Boot up the stream. It's a cash flow show. Every day I'm live and I let you know there's a better way to get that cash. Not chasing clicks that disappear so fast. You gave your time to the algorithm, but the rules keep changing. You can't win 'em. You need a lane that you own for real, so your knowledge turns into a deal. On the cash flow path, we're breaking free from the rented, reaching the mystery. Build your own space where your people stay. Private community that pays your way. On the cash flow path, watch your value grow. Turn your wisdom into profit flow. Every daily live, I'm laying it out straight. Over 40 creators, it's never too late. YouTube views, they rise and fall. Ads and brands, they can ghost your call. But when you own the room where you teach, your best buyers are within your reach. No hot talk, just a simple plan. Step by step, yeah, we walk it hand in hand. Our public feeds where you're just a guest, to your own platform where you're truly blessed. On the cash flow path, we're breaking free from the rented, reaching the mystery. Build your own space where your people stay. Private community that pays your way. On the cash flow path, watch your value grow. Turn your wisdom into profit flow. Every daily live, I'm laying it out straight. Over 40 experts, it's never too late. No more waiting on a viral break. Oh no! No more hoping that the sponsors pay. You've got knowledge they can't replace. Time to
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.